Good morning, guys and girls. Welcome today to the English capsule. Today is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. Today we'll see human communication, history and origin, non-verbal communication and the human voice, writing, the mail, printed communication and telecommunications, information technologies and the future of human communications. And finally, why is punctuation important in written communication? To begin with, let's see history of human communication. Human communication is a complex and wide category involving numerous forms of information exchange and numerous possible languages, verbal or not, and through different channels. The capacity of language is unique and exclusive of humanity. It is possible thanks to the human intellectual capacity which reaches the necessary levels of abstraction to create, interpret and learn new languages, or deduct the formulas on which they are supported. Now, with respect to the origin of human communication was born with human being itself, since it is one of its natural capacities. The first of all forms of human communication is language. There is not a date on which we can mark the communication of our species, but we can draw a course of the technologies created by it to allow or facilitate the communication fact, as we will see next. Non-verbal communication. It should be clarified before proceeding that the human languages and voice is not the only communication mechanism that primitive man had. On the contrary, it had important and different levels of non-verbal communication that is not involved in the world, that we are also capable of employing. Gestural communication, the most instinctive communication, the one that involves the body and is managed at much more basic level, is also an effective way of transmitting messages to our like people and even to occasional gestures dog, the human voice. The first form of communication of human history was the voice. That is the language articulated through our phonic system. Lungs, throat, vocal strings, larynx, mouth, tongue, lips, teeth. Everything put at the service of emitting a chain of sounds in a continuous, organized and consistent way, according to the rules that a language speaks. The human voice is our regular channel of communication, the most common and the most used, either live and direct or through instruments invented to magnify it, such as megaphones, microphones, etc. In the primitive times, the transmission of knowledge depended on the human voice, for everything passed from one generation to another orally and was stored in memory. Writing, as a method to resolve the disadvantage of the absence of the issuer of a message and make this message last over time, a system of symbols of a various indole was invented, which, once decrypted, could transmit the myself message. Always transmit the message. Various types of writing are recognized. For instance, pictograms or pictures for words. Before modern writing systems developed came pictograms. These were very simple images that represented something. They were built up to create a phrase. So a drawing of men followed by a drawing of a blade or a spear followed by a picture of a mammoth would represent the sentence, men use a spear to hunt the mammoth. Examples of it are the Egyptians' hieroglyphics or the Mayan codexes. Alphabet. The first evidence of an alphabet like the one we know today being used was the Phoenician alphabet, about 1000 before Christ. The system used symbols to represent consonants and was spread across the Mediterranean by the traveling merchants who used it to keep records. From this alphabet came the Aramaic script and the Greek alphabet, which led to the Latin alphabet that we use today and which have symbols for both consonants and vowels. The mail. The exchange of written text on papers and other physical supports of vegetable fiber given origin to systems for sending and receiving letters and packaging in the different countries, known as printed mail. The printed communication, the invention of the Gutenberg printing in the 15th century revolutionized the way of making writings and books, which was until then manual. In addition, it allowed the first mass periodic publications to arise. Together with the subsequent invention of lithographs and other similar techniques with the printing, a market of mass publications emerged, and of companies dedicated to written information later, which were the first newspapers and magazines, until today. It is maybe the most effective written communication method in history. Telecommunications. The technological advances of the Industrial Revolution made possible the transmission of moving images and sounds through cables and after Hertz waves or electromagnetic waves. Humanity began to send and receive information of all kinds. Thanks to this revolutionary development, impressive events of the 19th and 20th century emerged: the telegraph, the telephone, the radio, the television, even the radar and the microwaves. Through these technologies, much faster communication was possible and across much greater distances as never before in the history of humanity. Information technologies. Technology allows us to communicate in real time over long distances. The digital revolution at the late 20th century also brought important changes in human communication. Computers are machines capable of receiving, storing, or transmitting much greater volumes of information and at much higher speeds than any other previous invention of human being. The connection of the computers in wider and wider networks until they reached the World Wide Web or Internet allowed to send multimedia messages in real time. Teleconferences, video recordings, chats, emails, SMS, also available on cell phones and other portable devices. It was a big change in the way of communication up to the moment. Future of human communication. The communication of human species is unpredictable. However, among the futuristic fantasies of humanity, including the possibility of teletransport or messages sent direct to the mind of another, this is called telepathy. Importance of the use of punctuation marks in human written communication. Why is punctuation important in communication? Punctuation is the use of special marks to enable readers to understand a piece of writing. Good punctuation follows the rhythms of speech, telling the reader to pause at the right points and to organize the information in the document that he or she is reading. Punctuation is essential and is used to convey and clarify the meaning of written language. Using an incorrect punctuation can change the entire meaning of a sentence. Examples about punctuation matters. Let's see some examples in which a sentence totally changes its meaning because of the incorrect use of punctuation sign. First, commas matter. Watch carefully this picture and you will see how important is a comma changes completely the meaning. Or the apostrophes matter. If you see, the apostrophe change the meaning. Hyphens matter. This one. Oxford commas matter. The Oxford comma is a special comma in the English language which change the meaning. You see, before "and" there is a comma. It shouldn't be there, but it's necessary to put the comma, the Oxford comma there, because to punctualize something special. Or the semicolons matter. Hyphens matter. For instance, man eating chicken. You see a man eating chicken, but it's different to man eating chicken, which is a chicken that likes to eat men. Different. So the hyphens change the meaning of the whole sentence. The quotation marks matter. You see the quotation mark. Another example of commas matter. Colons and commas matter too. Now, there are two more examples I want you to follow with me. The first one says private and full stop. Full stop is the small point. Private. No visitors allowed. Full stop. But if I say private? Question mark. No, with an exclamation mark. Visitors allowed. Change completely the meaning. And the other one, the old lady inviting the kids. Let's eat, kids. She's inviting the kids to eat. But if I say let's eat, kids, that means someone, maybe she is going to eat the kids. Okay, guys and girls, thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and see you next Thursday, if God willing. Have a good weekend, enjoy your vacations, sleep a lot, and make sports. Goodbye.